Today on the channel, from the Masters of the Universe Revelation series, Skeletor. Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel as we continue unboxing Series 1 of the Masters of the Universe Revelations figures from Mattel. And today, we've got Skeletor, and at the end of the video, we're going to take the whole Series 1, and I'm going to rank them from my favorite to my least favorite and do a quick kind of recap of the week on videos of these. But remember, for all your Masters of the Universe needs, including the Revelation Series 1 and 2, and a whole lot more, hit up Big Bad Toy Store. Link in the description below. But today, Skeletor gets his due. Did we save the best for last? We'll find out very soon. Is Skeletor one of the most iconic bad guys of 80s cartoons? Definitely on the Mount Rushmore, along with Cobra Commander for sure. Shredder, Megatron, I don't know where we go from there. We've had that discussion on the past on the channel. Mum-Ra's in the hunt. There's a lot of people, but I think Skeletor and Cobra Commander are by far 1 and 2 for me. 3 and 4 gets a little fuzzy sometimes, but very happy to get Skeletor, and it makes sense having Skeletor. As I did say this in the He-Man video, if you're starting a new line of He-Man figures, Masters of the Universe figures, you have to have He-Man and Skeletor in Series 1. There's no way around it, and those are the first two most people will end up buying. I guarantee if there's this pallet display out there, there's a young kid, you know, his parents, they're only going to buy him 2 figures. He's most likely getting He-Man and Skeletor. He's not going to mix things up, say, I'm going to take that evil Lynn and Mossman. I'm going to start my Masters of the Universe set off complete with those two. That's not the way it works. People want He-Man, Skeletor. They build out from there. That's just the way it goes. It's been going that way since the 80s when I was a kid. But today on the video, we're going to do it like we normally do it. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We'll compare it to some other Skeletors. And then, like I said, at the very end, we'll rank the whole series from my favorite to the least favorite. So be prepared for that. But first, let's take a look at the packaging. By now, we understand this packaging. We know what it's about. We got the Netflix logo. We got the Masterverse up top. We got the UPC nobody knows about. 30 points of articulation. Skeletor's name down here and the Revelations logo down below. And of course, Mattel. Don't forget them. Got Skeletor on the side. It says, Evil Lord of Destruction. Warnings on the bottom. And then cool artwork on the other side. As I say in every He-Man video, it seems like I just love the artwork on these. Something about the He-Man artwork just makes your mind, your imagination run wild. On the back, more cool artwork. We got a blurb. We'll read through that, of course. We got the rest of the lineup down below. A little checklist of sorts. So there it is. Looking in here, boy, he's got an extra set of hands. I don't know what this new gadget, we're going to call it a gadget, like a young Inspector gadget, but I'm not sure what this new wand is. I don't know if you could blow bubbles through that and put it in the thing and do one of those. That's kind of what it looks like to me, but we'll see. We'll see what that's about. Of course, he has the Havoc staff. Is there no sword in here? It doesn't look like it, but we'll see once we get it unboxed. Let's read the back of the packaging. The evil Lord of Destruction, Skeletor. For ages, Skeletor ravaged the land and terrorized the people of Eternia in his quest to capture all the power in the universe for himself. Now the nefarious Scourge of Eternia plots his final hostile takeover of Castle Grayskull. With dark magic, devious technology, and an army of loyal soldiers at his back, this sinister sorcerer believes this time nothing can stop him. ... Not even He-Man. Whoa, setting up the series. Like I said, it debuts just here in a day or two on Netflix, so depending when you're watching this. But Series 1, we're right there. It's like Christmas Eve, and Christmas is going to be here. We're going to find out if we absolutely love the series or we hate it. Or maybe we're in the middle and we'll watch no matter what. I'm pretty sure I'm going to see the whole series through. No matter if it's really good or really bad, I'm going to watch the whole Series 1. I'm not one to just turn it off. I'm going to get into the lore, and I'm hoping, and I think we should all hope this, is mixed reviews on these figures. I know some people are all in, some are out. Nobody's really sure what they think. Hopefully a lot of things are answered once the cartoon goes down. We've watched it all, and hopefully it makes us just absolutely fall in love with these figures even more. I hope that is the case. I guess that's the hope for any animated series with toy line, and hopefully they go together and work in unison. That's always the goal, I would have to think, by Mattel and Netflix and everybody else, and myself included. So there you go. All right, let's bust out old Skeletor. Let's see. Skeletor getting 2 figures right off the bat in this line. Skelegod. We're going to count that as Skeletor. See you later. Up high. We got the ruins. We got the old concrete. We've seen this in the past. See you later. Goodbye. Oh, I'm already seeing some things I like here that I didn't know were a part of here. But I'm leaving the front plastic prison on so we don't lose any pieces. There he is in the plastic prison. We love the plastic prison. Pop this bad boy out, maybe. Little tape there. See you later. Now, he's got a soft goods cape. I did not expect that on this one. We know Skelegod had a soft goods cape, but I didn't know Skeletor would. So I do like that right off the bat. These extra hands. Get the old bubble blower out. There's that. See you later. Oh, this Havoc staff. This is a girthy, heavy Havoc staff. A lot of Havoc staffs over the years have bent really easy because it's really light plastic. This is hard. This is a hard plastic. There's still a little bend in it, but you got to work at it. Just looks menacing. Looks evil. Anytime you see a skull with horns, like a ram skull, you think nothing good's up. There's maybe some devil worshiping going on. There might be some sick heavy metal music playing. Or Skeletor might be in the house. You just never know. But I've always loved the Havoc staff. And I truly do believe Skeletor is one of the things that are responsible for me loving heavy metal later in life. Just the imagery of the skulls and the misfits and stuff like that. I could go on a tangent. I'm not going to do it, but I just think Skeletor is one of the most heavy metal characters of all time. Take out his voice a little bit, because his voice is a little too comical, but just looking at him, just looks mean. Looks like he means business, and Skeletor is a favorite. That's why he's on my Mount Rushmore of villains, so there you go. Like I said, we do have 2 extra hands. We got kind of a little pointer cupping hand there. That's kind of cool. And then a flayed out, I'm going to slap you in the face hand, so that's all right. And then we get 1 fisted hand. I say it, you always need 1 fisted hand, and they're bringing it to the table here, so I do like that. And then we got a gripping hand here. No sword involved. We do got the bubble blower. I'm sure this will be more. I don't remember this, but I could just be, it's been a while since I've watched He-Man the Animated Series, the original. I've seen best of here and there, some YouTube every once in a while, but I'm going to go back. I have the Ninja Turtle DVD set, and I just got the He-Man DVD set. You know what? I don't know when I'm going to find the time for this, but I'm going to go in chronological order. I'm going to watch through all these. It's been so long for those 2 series, Ninja Turtles and the original He-Man. It's time for me to update. I mean, G.I. Joe, I watch the whole series probably twice a year, something like that. I watch it all the time. He-Man I have not went back to. So I'm going to right that wrong, as well as getting that Classics collection, as you saw in weekly purchases and on the channel this week. All right, so what do I think about He-Man? One thing I really haven't said too much in these, I might have touched on it, but this encompasses all the figures in this line. The elbow joints are very strong. I do get worried sometimes on these double-jointed figures, pinless jointed figures. Just some of the integrity of the joints, they seem really loose. AEW Jazzwares figures seem to be the worst of the bunch right now. Those elbows will break off, just barely any pressure. And I just always think of the kid playing with that and the kid experience. I always put myself in little Kyle's shoes of the past and what would happen. And I know I'd be extremely disappointed if I had a Luchasaurus figure that broke off and I couldn't find a replacement. That would just break little Kyle's heart, and I'm sure there's little Johnny out there somewhere in that same boat. But these have fairly strong, stiff joints on these, so that is one thing I do like. I think they got the right stiffness to the joints on these figures. Now, Skeletor has some issues, and the same kind of issue I saw with He-Man a little bit. That head is just too small. I wish they could enlarge that head just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. It just seems too small. I don't know. It's almost bird-like. He's almost like a bird with his cowl. Is that what we call this? Cowl headdress. How it goes to a point. It almost looks like he's got like a bird beak. And I can't take my eyes off of that. It almost looks like it just plays tricks with my mind and my eyes. So I always think of a bird when I look at his face here. And I did notice that originally on the pre-production samples and the pictures that flew around the internet. And I still, unfortunately, feel that way. So I'm not a big fan of this head. Maybe we'll get lucky and they'll say, hey, we're going to redo. We're going to do a redo. We got the feedback. We're going to have an accessories pack. And He-Man's known for accessory packs throughout all lines over the years. You get some swords, some weapons, but maybe a couple extra heads. And how great would it be if we got a He-Man and Skeletor alternate head? Because I'm sure there's some people that like these heads. Not everybody's going to dislike it. And I'm not saying I absolutely hate this head, but I think it could be improved, especially if it was a little bigger. So you put a weapons pack together, you put a couple of extra heads in there, bam, we're all happy. I do like his harness, I don't even know what we call these things. Almost his LOD type spikes, his shoulder pads. LOD style. I do like that. I like the harness. I think that has a great look to it. The purple really pops. Purple and blue is Skeletor. We get that. I mean, you take this head off, this is a phenomenal figure. I mean, this is, I'm just going to take it off and soak it in right now. See, this could be like Masters of the Universe Classics level right here. This is amazing looking Skeletor without the head. The head brings this figure down. That is very disappointing. I love the soft goods cape. I love his shoulder pads. I love the coloring on this one. I love the the Skeletor feet here with the 3 toes. There is a lot to like about this figure. It's just the head brings it down, and that's such an important piece, as we all know. The head is your moneymaker. The face is your moneymaker, and if they can't get that right, it really hurts the rest of the body. Ringside collectible stand. Use discount code Kyle. Save 10%. Does he fit? And he fits like a glove, as he should. Use discount code Kyle. Save 10%. These are the best stands for He-Man Origins, He-Man figures, wrestling, a lot of stuff. Tell them old Kyle sent you. I'll pop this back on here. Pops on easier than some of the other ones, that's for sure. But man, I don't know. I like the skullness of it. It's got kind of that bone gray, a little bit more menacing than some of the ones from the past lines, like Origins and stuff like that. But it's just more so that beak and cowl and the size of the head that brings this one down for me. But boy, it is a solid foundation. I might play around with some of the extra Skeletor heads out there. Maybe we pop a Classics head on there or something like that. Can I get this Havoc staff in? What the heck? I just bent his finger back. Well, I don't like that. Huh, well, I got a little bend there. So you got to be careful with these a little bit. I'll play with it a little bit. We'll put his bubble blower in. This is where he gets the soap in there, and he gets it in, and he blows bubbles all day long. It's an amazing experience when Skeletor blows bubbles. I don't know how he does it, but he finds a way. How about a little comparison? Here's the old Masters Universe Origins, haunting every peg and every single Target and Walmart in North America as we speak, I believe. Maybe not North America, but at least the United States. I've heard Canada's had some issues up here. My old buddy Wingnut online, I think they're having trouble getting this one up there, which is mind-boggling. We should send truckloads of these guys up north, up to Canada. But there he is, the Origins Skeletor. And then there's so many Skeletor figures in the Master Universe Classics line. There's a lot of them, but I grabbed one right here. Very solid. I mean, you could almost, I don't know, do we take the head off this one? Do we see if this is possible? Will this work? Holy cow. Let me put that back on. I don't know. I don't know if the colors are going to match, but like I said, there's tons of heads from the Classics line. Can I get this in here? Come on. Oh, I got it. I tell you what, guys. I don't know. I got to play with it a little bit more. Maybe get it a little straighter, but that doesn't look too shabby, honestly. Honestly, I think you could maybe get this. If you have some heads from that Classics, as we know, there's tons of Skeletor figures, tons of extra heads with those. I do have a complete collection with all the accessories. I may sneak a head over from that line and put onto this one. This one is just not doing it for me, unfortunately, but this one is pretty solid. I gotta admit. I have to admit on that one. So there you go. Very interesting figure. I like it a lot. I just don't like the head. But now we come to the time of the video where we're going to grab the whole line and we're going to compare and we're going to say which one is Kyle's favorite, which one's his least favorite of the figures from the Revelations line. All right, the time has come. It's time to put them in order from my favorite to my least favorite and the reasons why. And I got to tell you, going into this, seeing those glamour images, glamour shots that made me say, yes, I'm picking these up, I had an idea of what would be my favorite, what would be my least favorite. Some of that was changed, though. Once I got these figures in hand, once I took a look at them, a few things changed. Some of the orders changed. Some things stayed the same. But let's jump into it. We're going to start with the Battle Cat first. I'm not counting him in my favorites from this line, as he's a vehicle, an animal, a Battle Cat. So I'm not going to count him in this. But this is a very strong Battle Cat. One of the best Battle Cats we've ever received. I would say he's number 1 or number 2. Probably number 2 over the Classics, being number 1, I would say. But this is a very strong Battle Cat. It's a hair big, which you never hear me say that, as I love big figures. The bigger the better, usually. He just seems to be just a hair big, where the heads on these figures seem a hair small. And go figure, that's the way it goes sometimes. But I strongly recommend picking this one up. $40 price point. Check out the full review on the channel. But, like I said, some things in my mind stayed the same, and one of those things was my number 1. It stayed the same once I got him out of the package, and that is Evil Lynn. An amazing figure, hands, weapons, purses, extra heads, a lot of accessories to like with this one. And this is Evil Lynn. You look at this, this looks like Evil Lynn. You could even put this one with your classics figures and it would fit right in, I do feel. A very, very strong, solid figure. Easily number one by a pretty good margin in my book on this Revelation Series 1 figure. So I definitely like the Evil Lynn. Number 2 is a surprise, as I did not expect this one at number 2, and I can tell you this one does look better in hand than the pictures show. I'm happy about that because He-Man is the major character of the Masters Universe Origins world and everything else. Hopefully Revelations world as well. We'll see what happens. There's been some leaks out there. I don't know if they're true or not. But this He-Man does look better in hand. I wish the head was a little bit bigger. I wish the skin tones matched a little clearer. But besides that, this is He-Man. This is a strong figure. It is way better than expected, and we always love it when things are better than expected. But then you get to the next set, and this next one, Mossman, I anticipated to be my first or second favorite, and unfortunately it went down to number 3. I don't know if I missed the real fur. I kind of do. Fur, moss, I don't know what you want to call it on here. Panther's got the flocked fur. I guess he's got the flocked moss. I don't know what we call it, but you know what I mean. I just expected a lot more from this. This one really feels more akin to Swamp Thing than the Mossman I grew up with. It's got some interesting stuff with that big extra tree limb root hand, but it's too heavy for him, so it does make his hand fall down. An interesting figure, and I think this is the most interesting figure of the 4 that came out in the traditional line, is Mossman is a bit of a deep cut. I think most people know Mossman, but I would have expected a Man-at-Arms, a Stratos, a Tila, something like that in this line before I would get a Mossman. But I do like that that tells you they're going outside the box, and I think that tells you that they have long-term plans for this line, because if they were really putting all their aces out there, wanted to slam it out the first series, they would have put maybe a more popular character in there. So something tells me they have a couple-year plan for these figures already. So we'll see. But this Mossman, I thought was going to be either number 1 or 2, but it fell to the 3 spot. It's just, I still haven't made my mind quite up about it. There's things I like and things I don't. Like I said in the review, the head is a little bit smaller than I would like. I think a bigger head, maybe some real fur, that might have done something. I wouldn't be shocked if we don't see a variant on this one day. Maybe it'll be a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive, something like that. We'll get the flocked version maybe. I wouldn't be shocked the way things go. But for me, Mossman, number 3, a bit of a surprise. And then number 4, now this one is interesting. Obviously, we just did the Skeletor review. To me, Skeletor could have been number 1 or 2 if he had a better head. The head is what drags this one down for me, unfortunately. We put the Classics head on it. I thought that looked pretty good. I just don't like this head. It just looks too bird-like with that cowl over the top. It's a little too small. But the body here, the body of Skeletor, the foundation of Skeletor, my love of Skeletor, you take the heads off all these, Skeletor's probably number 1. You add the head on it, he falls all the way down to number 4. I just do not like this head. This head didn't capture me what I wanted. Like I said, I hope there's a weapons pack in the future. Maybe gives us a bigger He-Man head, a better Skeletor head, and we're going to be cooking with gas if that happens. I'll be very excited. But unfortunately, he falls down to number 4. And then bringing up the rear, the last one, there's a lot of reasons this is last for me. The ankles were pretty rough on this one. It takes a lot to get him to stand without falling over, so that is a little production flaw there. But him being a character I have no idea of. We're going to find out in the series, so I don't know anything about him. Maybe we'll love this guy and he'll move way up. I don't really see that happening, but I don't know. It's just not what I wanted. I want this Skeletor. I didn't need a Skelegod, but like I said, we could have some answers in the future. The deluxe price point, I don't know if he's worth an extra, $8, $9, $10. And the small head factor on this one does bum me out a little bit as well. So I don't know. I just don't know what to think about the Skelegod. Like I said, once the show starts, maybe my mind will change. But as of right now, he's way down at the end. I do foresee this figure going to clearance at Target, especially if Walmart's going to get these here in about a month. Target has so many of these in my area right now. Then you add Walmart and the online stores. I think they're going to have trouble moving some of this product of the Skelegod especially, that you'll see him go to clearance. I hope that doesn't affect some of the buys of the rest of the line. There's a lot of unanswered things on a line like this. You just never know what's going to happen. There's got to be money behind He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, of course. It is a proven winner over the years with a few missteps here and there. But it's a figure that I think Target, Walmart buyers, those are the big 2. Maybe Amazon in number 3. they feel good and comfortable about He-Man. They understand He-Man. So I think it'll always have a place on the shelves. It'll always take a chance buying He-Man figures. But it's up to the consumer, you and me watching this, to make sure we support these things. If we like them, to support them, to make them grow. Don't wait for clearance, which is nice on our wallet playing that long game. But if you wait to clearance, that doesn't really help the cause of getting more figures out there. I think you guys understand how that goes. But we'll see. A long road ahead here. We all got to keep our fingers crossed. The animated series that debuts on Netflix this week is amazing. Hopefully that's the case. Time will tell. Time will tell. Maybe I'll do a review of the cartoon. We'll do Kyle's film reviews. Wouldn't that be something? Maybe one of these days. I don't know. Who knows? But there it is. There's the He-Man Masters Universe. I guess no He-Man. It's just Masters of the Universe Revelations line. This is Series 1. These are my thoughts. You guys in the comments, tell me your thoughts on Skeletor especially, as that was the leader of this review. But you can tell me your thoughts on this whole line if you want. Tell me if you're picking them up. Are you going to pick and choose? Are you all in? Are you all out? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. You've watched this far. Make sure you like it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the old notification bell. As you guys know, we're going to have more He-Man videos on top of everything else on the channel. There's no lack of content, that's for sure. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media at SirPaul64 on Twitter, _Kyle_Peterson on Instagram, and ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. Support the channel. Pick up a t-shirt. So there you go. The Masters of the Universe Revelations Series 1 line. I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.